Hey Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. It is so awesome to be back with you guys. Well, I got to give a big shout out and say thank you to all of you who came out to yesterday's video. We had messages from the spirit world. And if you didn't see that, check it out. It's in the queue right before this one. That's my weekly video where I do little mini psychic readings for people who write into the show. So definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. You guys are so glad. Well, here it is, Wiccan Wednesday, and that means we're going to focus on magical things today. Speaking of magical things, I thought I'd wear my Wiccan Horn Lord shirt today. How do you like that? Isn't that cool? And I've got on my Moon Goddess pendant. And see, it's got a scrying disc, isn't that cool? Anyways, you know, I'm into the Lord and the Lady, you know, the magical God and Goddess. Well, you know, today's video, actually, I can't claim it all as my own. I got the idea out of the Witch's Almanac. And this is the Witch's Almanac from 2012, 2013. But they had a really great article in here, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it's the theme of what we're doing today. And it's called Sacred Prayer Cloths. There you can see. And I'm just going to let the article speak for itself, okay? And it says, from magic carpets to saris, handkerchiefs, aprons, altar cloths, keepsake quilts, and baby shawls, special fabrics have long been used to carry energy and encouragement to those in need. These fabric talismans are collectively called prayer cloths among the wise witches who use them to heal. Patients in nursing homes and hospitals often appreciate and find solace in gifts of prayer cloths, often with a drop of essential oil or a bit of ribbon or lace added. In 2005, a group of well-wishers even started to send prayer cloths to the United States military troops stationed overseas. Soldiers found comfort in placing squares of cloth inside a pocket or helmet as a kind of talisman. The Masons wear ritual aprons, which signify power too. According to the New Testament's Acts 19:11 and 12, that's the Bible, and this is a quote, it says, God wrought special miracles by the hands of Paul, so that from his body were brought into the sick handkerchiefs or aprons, and the diseases departed from them, and the evil spirits went out of them. This describes how cloths, specifically aprons and handkerchiefs, touched by the Apostle Paul were brought back to the sick in order to cure them of their ills. Prayer cloths are sacred keepsakes in themselves, but can also be used with crystals, pictures, and other sacred and holy objects. In many places, the custom exists to place the prayer cloth on a special table and to place petitions on top, as well as pictures of our loved ones and those in need of spiritual or physical healing. The prayer cloth may also be placed under a pillow at night or held while praying. Prayer cloths can be used for all kinds of cures, as aids for loneliness, consolation, family difficulties, and various calamities, as well as to enhance special occasions and devotional praying. A handcrafted handkerchief, perhaps decorated with crocheted lace, may be included in special greeting cards or given as a gift to send healing to an ill friend or relative in the hospital. To create a prayer cloth, carefully select a piece of fabric. Now here's how to do it. Carefully select a piece of fabric which is special to you. Hold it in your hands and focus on healing as you say a favorite prayer or affirmation. Your cloth may be further empowered by bringing it to a sacred place, touching it to crystals, religious icons, angels, statues, family photos, or other sacred objects. Many miracles and healings have been attributed to sacred fabrics over the centuries. Simply place the cloth on any part of the body which needs healing, or use it on an animal companion who isn't feeling well. Don't be surprised if you experience amazing miracles. Isn't that wonderful? That article was written by Esther Elaine, and it's found in the 2012-2013 Witch's Almanac. Well, you know, I'm a big believer in prayer cloths. And I really believe in them, and I'll tell you why. I have an interesting story. As many of you know, I was adopted, and I was adopted as a baby, so I didn't really know my birth family. And my birth father and mother are both deceased now. But when my birth mother was alive, she told me a very interesting story. And she said to me that my father, my birth father, used to go to the Pentecostal church, and he'd get prayer cloths. And he used to come home and lay prayer cloths around my crib and pray for me. And he used to say that the prayer cloths gave me a special anointing in my life. And the ministers of his church said that I would be an anointed person, and they'd send prayer cloths to the house. Now, I don't remember this. I was a baby, but it's just very interesting, isn't it? And I didn't know this till just a few years ago. And look, here I am. I devote my whole life to spiritual work. So maybe I got some anointing from those prayer cloths. Either way, even before I knew that, I did believe in prayer cloths. And, you know, in the Wiccan tradition, we also have the tradition of prayer cloths. And I was going to show you today how we can make a simple prayer cloth and anoint it. First thing that you need is a fabric. Now, it says choose a special fabric. There are a few things. One of the things is I like for prayer cloths is soft gray felt. It's a gentle, soft color. And magically, gray is said to neutralize evil. So, you know, as many of you know, if you ever do a spell and somebody's cast negative mojo, you burn gray candles. That's a tradition. Many people in the craft practice. And I feel like when we're battling negative conditions, gray is a wonderful color to neutralize it. Also, I just like gray cloth because many of you may remember, well, I think it's still around. There was a designer named Jeffrey Bean, and he used to have a wonderful cologne called Gray Flannel, and they used to buy the bottle of the cologne. It was wrapped in gray flannel bag, and that bag was so luxurious, soft gray flannel. And it's always been for me a color, gray, soft flannel or soft wool represents comfort to me. And so we're going to make a prayer cloth today out of nice gray felt. Now, another reason why I suggest you consider using felt for your prayer cloths is you can buy large sheets of it. Now, I bought each of these sheets, I got 10 sheets here for $6, so less than $1 a sheet. And each sheet can get about 4 cloths out of it, depending on how big you want it. Now, also, if you want to, you can make each sheet its own cloth, but generally they're just a little smaller. And what I do is I'll take my felt sheets and I'll put them in, fold them in quarters. And so that's how big each prayer cloth will be. And if you like doing this, I think working in quarters is a good way to do it. So we just fold it in quarters and we can just cut it, okay? And then that gives us 2 halves, and then we cut each half again. And what we can do is just put that on top of each other, fold it over again, and you can do it in 2 slices, 2 simple cuts. And there you go. Out of 1 sheet, we now have 4 cloths. Isn't that wonderful? And then as the book says, you want to pray over them and anoint them. Now, I'm not going to put any oils on these ones today, but I do sometimes put oil on. And just get a dab of lavender oils, a healing oil, or if you like lemon oil is refreshing. And just put a little dab of oil on them, okay? And then what I like to do is I like to go to my altar, and for this one we're going to invoke the Great Moon Mother, because the Moon Mother brings healing and nourishment to the soul. And so many people right now feel so disconnected spiritually. They're alone, they're depressed, and I think a little power of the Moon Mother is great to invoke. And what I like to do is, by the way, just also so you know, on this statue I have a crystal. As the book said, you can use a sacred crystal. And I have an amazing, oops, let me get it here, labradorite stone that Lady Angela gave me. Isn't that beautiful? It just shimmers. And it just happens to fit in this statue perfectly, and I keep it there. So it's been charged by the Moon Mother. And so what I'll do is, you can do them as a group or individual. Like, for example, you could take them all together, and after you anoint them, you could touch them to the sacred gemstone, the consecrated crystal at the Moon Goddess Shrine, and you can lay them on the statue, and you say, "Blessed Moon Mother, we invoke your divine power, your healing, your blessing, your protection for all who carry these cloths. May your power, your sacred silver light, infuse these beautiful fabrics now, and may these prayer cloths be anointed and blessed by your presence." And just take a moment and visualize that energy infusing. Just lay your hands on it. Feel the power. Hold the concentration. See light infusing these cloths. And you can say any words you want. You can use that prayer or any. And just say, "Great Moon Mother, thank you. Thank you for the power of your infusion. Thank you for the blessing of these cloths. We dedicate them in the name of the great goddess. May they bless and heal all to whom they travel to. So mote it be." And now you've got anointed prayer cloths. Or an alternative version of that would be to take each cloth and name it for a specific person. So you could say, "I anoint this prayer cloth, and I ask the Great Mother to bless it for, John Smith, that he might be protected as he travels in the army." And then you could set it aside. Then you could do another cloth, and you say, "Great Moon Mother, I ask your anointing and blessing on this cloth for Sally Joe as she heads out on her world journey. May this cloth travel with her on her vacation and her voyage. Bless her and protect her and be a comfort along the way." And set it aside. And you can do this depending on how many you want for each person specifically, or, as I did earlier, do them en masse and just do a consecration on all of them. There's no right way or wrong way, but it's how you want to do it, okay? So, if you're looking to create these prayer cloths, as you see, it's very simple. And all you need is some beautiful little squares. Now, if you want to get real fancy, you could use silk cloth, or as the book suggested, you could get cloth and embroider it. You could do designs on this or stitch lace around it. You can make these prayer cloths as beautiful as you want. These ones I made are just little simple ones out of cotton wool, gray wool, but I just love them. Now, if you want to really get upscale, for example, here's another option. You could choose a beautiful fabric. Like, since we're working with the Moon Mother for this anointing and blessing, you could even get a beautiful fabric like this. This is a silver lame fabric, and it would be wonderful to use also. And you could, cut it into small squares and anoint it and bless it. Or if you're going to make a lot of squares, rather than doing each one, you could actually take the whole cloth and touch it to the statue, invoke the prayer and anoint it, and then cut it into whatever size of segments you want. Prayer cloths can be any size from like 2 inches square to, a foot square. I would say generally it's better to keep them in the smaller, 4 to 6 inch size. That's why it's easy for people to transport with them, keep it in their pocket. But really you can make them any size you want. If you wanted to be really ambitious, you could make like a giant blanket and make it a prayer cloth. Anoint a blanket or stitch it, and then anoint it and give it to somebody to put on their bed for blessing and protection. This is wonderful, especially if somebody who's recovering like from a surgery. You could cover them in a giant prayer cloth blanket. Wonderful way to do it. So I just want to come here today and share with you the idea of sacred prayer cloths. And as I said, they can be any color. They could be your favorite color. If you like purple, you could have purple prayer cloths, or white prayer cloths, or any color that you want. Today, as I said, I chose gray just because I like gray. I think it neutralizes negativity, and it's a soft, peaceful color. It's easy on the eyes. So that's something for you. But really, you can do any color and any fabric you want. But anyways, I hope this gave you a little insight today. Well, guys, listen, I am so glad you're here. Listen, make sure that you are here on December 31st. We're going to have my annual predictions, psychic predictions for what's coming in 2018. It's going to be live at 11 p.m. Eastern U.S. time here on YouTube. We're going to do a live broadcast, so make sure to be here with us. And if you're looking for some spiritual development today, and you might want to pop over to my website and pick up my book, Psychic Bob's Book of Wiccan Wisdom. I have a bookstore there. If you go to the top, you can see it says books. Just click on that. You can see all my books. This is just one of them. We also have Psychic Bob's Book of Spells, and this is his companion, Psychic Bob's Book of Wiccan Wisdom. So definitely check it out. Well, guys, you guys are the best. I love you. I am sending all my blessings to you. And I hope wherever you are, you're having a wonderful day. So listen, keep it here at Spirit Channel. We got more coming. Tomorrow's Thursday. What's that mean? Vlog Thursday. Oh, we're going to have an adventure. All right, well, be back here for that. And I thank you for being here. And tell me in the box below, have you ever worked with prayer claws? Have you ever seen one? Maybe you've been a gift, received one as a gift. Maybe you've made prayer claws. I'd love to hear about it. Well, guys, thanks for being here. I love you. I send you my blessings. We'll see you here tomorrow. And until then, may you always blessed